All right, everyone, the propagandistic hit pieces that are totally not propositioned on making money or anything like that continue. Link in the description, archived, of course. Let me read you this title and subtitle verbatim here, because it's funny. This is, of course, from our friends at the Washington Post. We use friends in the loose sense. Anti-Semitism was rising online. Then Elon Musk's X supercharged it. After neo-Nazi protests in Charlottesville, white supremacists were confined mostly to fringe websites. Musk's purchase of Twitter changed that. Ooh, goodness. Spooky woo-doo. There are Nazis on Twitter. Holy Christ. Quick, we've got to violate the First Amendment and pour lots of money into the issue and pressure some advertising campaigns and stuff. Here's the thing. Anti-Semitism will always exist. I know I'm preaching to the choir when I tell the average clanker that. There will always be sexism. There will always be racism. There will always be bigotry. There will always be people who say dumb, threatening shit online and occasionally get a visit from the police. These things are unavoidable. The fact that you've put them out of sight, out of mind does not mean the ideology is reduced in any way, shape, or form. If anything, effectively, and take it from somebody who's been making content for a long time. I've been on the internet. I've been in the memosphere. I've been using fucking 4chan since the 2000s, etc., etc. We had gotten to a point earlier in the internet, before roughly the 2016 era, when supposedly everything fell apart. Everyone became a Nazi because Trump was elected. No. What had happened is that meme culture had effectively taken the more serious bigoted ideology. So before it's the Ku Klux Klan is burning crosses on your lawn because you're a black voter. It had devolved it into a form of humor. It was almost self-deprecating. People made all sorts of off-the-wall crazy jokes, more and more racism and sexism and bigotry, homophobia, everything under the sun, including, so-called reverse racism. Cracker jokes and jokes about men and straight people being boring and, not knowing how to cook or dress themselves and shit like that. We were having fun. It was not serious bigotry. It had turned into a form of humor, and it was out there in the open for the average person not to get the joke and to ridicule it. It was hilarious. What you did by pushing these people out into the fringes of the internet, as the article here itself states, is you turned it from mostly a humorous endeavor into something that actually became radical because you compacted the environment and you created like a hyper-evolution of, you actually evolved racists. Like you evolved sexists, if you get my understanding. I'll try to explain. What happened is you created a unique evolutionary niche, and behavior and psychology do evolve. Culture evolves. It's well documented. Just the same way as genetics, only on steroids. And then you gave it more steroids. You gave it a little fertile area in which only the more heinous individuals that didn't need to get the joke because they actually mean it when they say gas this group of people would rise to the top because they would say the most inane shit, naturally. As a result of that, you caused people to be radicalized. Yes, Nazis should be on Twitter. On Twitter, 99% of people are going to argue against them. They're not going to find any converts. They're going to get humiliated. The best they can do is meme it up. Well, they're not killing anybody. They're not committing a hate crime. They're not vandalizing a synagogue or something like that. And anti-Semitism is uniquely focused on, in a singular sense, absent any other further context. Every form of bigotry will continue to exist. There are people out there that genuinely hate and distrust white people. There are people out there that genuinely hate and distrust black people. There are people with a stick up their ass about Jews. There are people with a stick up their ass about any Muslim they happen to encounter. There are people who are bigoted against Japanese. There are people out there that would hate me for my hair length, for my eye color. I'm looking at you, Varg. Just joking, kinda. For my skin color, the fact that I'm male, I got a dick, the fact that I refuse to use your pronouns, the fact that I say retard or something like that. There are plenty of people out there that have a problem with me. That's okay. And they tell me publicly and privately on a daily basis, by the way, and I don't have a problem with it. If somebody wants to call me a skinny, shrimpish piece of shit, you're a little pathetic whining bitch, it's the internet, dude. Who gives a fucking goddamn shit? Calling Elon Musk anti-Semitic for freeing up free speech a little bit more on Twitter, when it's still heavily censored, it's just less heavily censored than before. Like, you can actually express yourself to some degree on Twitter, which you couldn't do when Agrawal was there. I'm failing to see how this is going to generate this army of Nazis. I thought it already existed, by the way. I thought Trump had already generated it and that half the U.S. population were deplorables. Half the U.S. population was basically ready to re-elect Adolf Hitler. That's what I've been told, anyway, for an extended period of time. Donald Trump sleeping next to Mein Kampf, and he's dreaming of world revolution. And Malay is his offspring, clearly, too, and so he'll be next on the chopping block. The second that he says something that's off the wall, again, now that he's been elected, they'll probably call him a Nazi, too. I think he gets around it by claiming he wants to convert to Judaism. Maybe he will. Then he'd be untouchable. A Hispanic Jew? I don't think the U.S. press is going to find much to complain about other than gender on that one. I'm having a good day, by the way. I forgot to buy energy drinks the other day, and so have to brew and spoon. Yeah, Elon Musk. Elon Musk, notorious Nazi. None of these people had any problem with him before he acquired Twitter either, right? He was building electric cars. Oh my God, Elon's going to save the world from fossil fuels. Elon Musk is going to put humans on another planet. They loved him. Elon Musk is trolling people with his glorified weed wand, not a flamethrower. Elon Musk is going to revolutionize cities with the Boring Company. They loved him. Leftoids fucking loved Elon Musk. Like most of them would have sucked his dick for free. They wouldn't have even asked for part of his fortune. Now all of a sudden he's the head Nazi himself. Why? Because he came out and said, well, I guess I'd vote Republican in this election. I think DeSantis is a good dude. We're going to let Trump back on the platform. Hey, I'm not going to ban you for being merely offensive to people who are perpetually offended. Oh my God, Elon Musk the Nazi. Leaving alone the fact that the Nazis were a left-wing economic movement mainly, but yeah, I'm sure that Elon Musk hates half of his investors because a lot of the heads of those companies happen to be Jewish. He doesn't seem to have a problem with that, but somehow he's anti-Semitic. Please show me where Elon Musk has himself stated anything that would be considered akin to anti-Semitism. Is it, hey, I generally support free speech? Is that anti-Semitic? That's not a good look if that's the claim you're making. You're actually making an anti-Semitic claim. Like basically you sound like the actual Nazi. You sound like the one that's claiming the Jews want to dominate the world and suppress you. Isn't it interesting how the people that are criticizing him in this particular endeavor themselves get dangerously close to echoing the kind of statements you would expect from the actual anti-Semitic crowd that you would find on, I don't know, the fringes of Reddit or something like that. You're getting really dangerous with some of the comments you're making, and it's not Elon that's making them. And then this has happened repeatedly. I like it when people call me a Nazi, for example. They'll point to like 10-year-old, badly outdated and heavily remixed clips of me and say that I'm a Nazi too. Yes, I'm a Nazi who wants to preserve all literature, including some of it which is explicitly like really head-on socialist, by the way, and not in the NSDAP socialism sense, but the progressive one. Yeah, I want to preserve as much literature as possible while I'm alive, basically an archivist of the occult. I believe you should be able to speak anything on your mind, defend yourself against state tyranny. The state should be much more limited, and we shouldn't kill people in wars. That's a real... It's basically like Goebbels now, isn't it? Yeah, that's about all. Peace out.